Welcome to the Adventures in Silverno. This is Campaign 5, What the Fae, The Odyssey of Chaos. We are on episode 19 as we deep dive into the weirdness of the Fae. Wave to the camera by Will of Asteri. We have Andrew Krug, we have Scott Nicholson, we have Erica Nicholson, we have Tanner Messer, and we have Ben Reily. And I am MJ, your MC for the evening and for the year. Welcome back. How's everyone feeling, my friends?
Spectacular.
Beautiful.
Gosh dang it.
Wonderful.
Perfect. As we left off, the players were headed towards the coast of the southern coast of the Court of Summer via hippocamps gifted to them by Desiree's family as a parting gift for helping them with their troubles. And to commemorate the party being together and unified and becoming friends for truly the first time, they did what any party would do. They slept separately. They divided themselves up and said, we're not hanging out together. Ursine and his twig blights started a fire outside as the Boy Scout in him would do. Our mechanical friend pulled a nice new trick out of his hat, or out of his half, and performed Mordecaiden's mansion, I believe, which is a very mechanist spell. It does what it's supposed to do. It's not pretty, but it is effective. It is a silent, safe place to rest. And then directly across the street is the temple to our good friend Summersong, who Tidbit announced that everyone had to be tested to see if they could enter and be truly chosen by Summersong. And Desiree and Sylvie passed, also the only two to actually try to do it, of course, including Tidbit himself. And so 3 anointed members of Summersong's clergy now stand as you all awaken. Also, Sylvie brought in the hippocamps, so he secured the fact that they will be helping out in the morning as you all awaken. And you are all headed west towards the mountains of the Court of Spring, and it is also the passageway towards the Court of Summer to get to where you're going, which is this giant earth and energy source that is laying wait on the other side of the border that you've heard about. But you all wake up from your various rest feeling rested because I didn't torment anybody. Everyone is welcome to roll me a d20 just to see the order of things as everyone starts to unpack and get their things together and hop back on the road, as we call it.
I got a nat
9.
20.
Do you want it to be just a straight D20 roll?
Yes, please.
Our son got a 6. Hey.
All right, I heard a 20. I heard a 6.
I got a 9.
A 9. Yeah, I'm fighting for last place. Okay.
Tip it with an 8.
An 8. Ben with the 9. No, wait. Ben with the 8. Ben with the 8. Scott with the 9. No, 5. Oh, God. Tanner with the 9.
Yes.
Okay, perfect. Now I'm gonna get my right screen back. Bam. Hello, friends. I can see you all. Okay, so we are gonna hit our fun little highlights, but of course it's gonna be a little different today. Many moons ago, I gave you all some things your characters were thinking about way long ago, so many sessions ago. That were just like a list of things that were on your brain, and some of those things have just been kind of sitting and cooking for a while. And so we're gonna go through, and I'm just gonna give you the prompt, and then the characters who apply to that scene will then choose how they want that scene to play out. But we're gonna start with our nat 20, of course. My friend, my girl, Erica. Desiree, let's see. Okay, this is a fun one. You remember that Ursine, I once told you that Ursine is not of the Fae, but you feel this urge to be honest, and you want to connect with him in a way that is unlike anyone you've ever met before, and that is something that like you have been like has been on the back of your brain. Like, all the things that keep happening, you've never spoken to Earth sign truly, but you just feel the urge to want to speak to him, and you can feel that it's not coming from. It's not your normal like your interest. It feels like he is like in some way compelling you to want to come speak to him, and you finally give into that, and you go and you do have that conversation, whatever that may be.
Okay, Desiree is gonna approach Ursine and say, you know, Ursine, I've been comparing my notes about the members of the party, and it seems that your entries seem to be the most lacking, and I really would like to fill in some gaps. So, is it okay if we get to know each other a little better?
Oh, sure. I'm not surprised that there's not much about me. I'm just an old man.
Yeah,
I've been on adventures in the past, but
I've picked up a little bit on that, and I would love to hear tales of some of the adventures that you've had. But let's start off easy. I know we're both big fans of nature. So, well, what's your favorite plant?
um, can we lower our voices a little bit?
Oh, that's not my forte, but I can try my best.
That's fine. I don't want to like say anything, and then somebody like one of them are listening, and I don't want anyone to feel left out at all.
Oh, that makes sense. So you must be friends with mini plants then, or anyone close in the area?
Um, no, but you never know who knows who.
Mm. Yeah, that is a good point. But don't
Uh,
worry, your secret will be safe with me. Whichever plant you choose, I will not betray your friendship and trust in the others by revealing that.
um, well, thank you. Um, I would have to say probably. Well, I love my blights. They're probably above almost everything. But I sort of feel as though they're a little bit of an exception. They have a little bit more personality than most plants have. Um, Other than that, I would have to say that I greatly connect with trees.
Mm. That's a very good answer. I think my favorite would have to be trees as well, but specifically the elm tree, as it's a part of my namesake.
That's fair. I also have a personal connection with. Um, well, I told you a bit about Agua, my friend, patron. Um, so there's a special place in my heart for that. Um, but they're also they are creatures that start off so weak and vulnerable, and they have to strive and compete with other plants and trees, but under the right conditions. If you're caring for one with enough care, they can grow up to be some of the strongest and sturdiest of living things, honestly.
And she's writing all of this down, like occasionally looking up as he's talking, and oh, that's a great point. So, can you tell me a little bit, I guess, more about your adventures, or maybe about Agba? If you feel comfortable sharing.
Uh, sure. Thank you for asking. Um, I started uh, I started adventuring when I was young, years and years ago. Probably not nearly as long as. Well, I don't know how old you are, but I started when I was very young. I was never really able to connect with other kids my age or with people at all. I found great comfort in solitude. And I eventually found that in my solitude and through self reflection and just a general appreciation for nature, if I were to sit there and listen for long enough, I could hear, if I was voicing something, a response of the forest, of the plants, and I grew this great relationship with nature that I hold in my heart above everything else. I remember one of my first quote unquote adventures. I was maybe 12, 15. I was just adventuring, exploring, and I found this this small tree, and this again is why I connect so much with this. But there were all of these other trees around it, and they were great and tall. And this little friend was what they were lacking sunlight, nutrients. It seemed like all of the other trees were um, blotting all the sun out, taking up all of the space, and so I dug it up, which probably wasn't the safest or most responsible action for uh, taking care of a wild plant. But I dug it up and I took it home, and I brought it into a field close to my house. And every day I would come to it, I would water it. There's ample sunlight for it to feed on, and I would speak to it. And that's not much of an adventure, as it was just exploring, but it was something that really connected with me, and um, it's really a capstone in where I went, what made.
Well, I wouldn't call that not an adventure. Sometimes adventures are not just physical, they can also be emotional adventures. And from what you've shared about your childhood, which I can relate a lot to, I spent a lot of my childhood alone in the woods, talking to plants as well. Seems like you might, what one might say, root for the underdog.
That was funny. That was funny. Yes, I agree. I agree. One day, maybe I can introduce you to this tree of mine. It stands so tall now, and it will um, outage myself if I were to have any children. Them, multiple generation.
Well, I do have a way with trees, other creatures not so much, but I would really look forward to meeting this tree friend or tree guardian of yours
Yeah,
someday. And
hopefully so.
since you're not technically from around here, I hope maybe there comes a point that I might know a plant or something that we could come across that I could introduce you to in return.
I always enjoy meeting new friends, as long as they're not people.
You know, there's a lot of knowledge behind that statement. I am coming to interact with them more and more recently, and I think I'm missing my days of solitude in the forest recently.
That's okay. It will come back if that's something that you're looking for.
Well, the change is nice, but change is sometimes hard for me. I do like my patterns, and the sunlight and being out in nature has been nice, but the socialization has taken quite a toll, and I'm looking forward to the rest that we might have coming up soon, even though it might not be for a very long time.
I wasn't. I'll tell you that. But speaking with you, I can have a little bit myself, I
Well,
think.
and maybe there's no time for resting, right? Because if we rest now, then that just prolongs your whole goal, which is to be able to rest after this. So the quicker we get it
Yes.
done, the longer after this you're able to rest.
Yes. Hopefully so.
Well, she's gonna shut her book all dramatically. Thank you for this, Arsine. I feel like your page is a little bit fuller now.
Thank you. If you ever want to talk or ask any questions again, feel free to ask. I know, compared to many in this realm, many realms, I am probably not the most wise. I live, my expectancy is but 80 years, maybe 90. It should have been shorter as an adventurer, but
Well, I'm personally glad that you've lived this long because I'm sure you have many more tales that I look forward to maybe hearing someday. I'm sure that your definition of wisdom might be a little different than mine because you're knowledgeable about a lot of things that I'll probably never even get to see or know about, and I sure would love to learn about that.
well, thank you.
And as we move away from the scene, all these things are kind of happening indiscriminately at a time as you guys are packing up your things. A lot of this trek is happening on the back of a boat, but there's plenty of times for people to be able to stop. And that being said, because of Sylvie's intervention with the hippocamps, this leg of the trip is going to be a lot shorter than it was anticipated because you're supposed to be on foot. But now you just have the hippocamps who are kind of like taking you parallel to the beach. So you have the sand on one side of you, but you're just kind of in the water and they are just moving you across. So super casual travels. But our next person up is the one and only Sylvie. Sylvie, the thing that is on your brain that you just keep hearing about and just keeps coming back up is Tiamat. Melody mentioned Tiamat being a part of the original Primordial Prince conflict. You know that Yumi is allied with Tiamat. You know that Tiamat is the one who cursed Desiree's family. But you don't, as much as you know how much Tiamat was involved, you have no idea why Tiamat was involved or like how Tiamat got to the place they are. You know Tiamat's current location is in the first level of hell, which is where Tiamat resides in Avernus. But you don't know, like, also that is a thing that like historically is like kind of a blemish, almost like the Court of Winter. People don't know about that, but also people don't know about this Tiamat thing. But you think that you might be in a place to at least put together some ideas between yourself and Desiree or other people who may have some inklings that you may be able to be the person who connects those things and writes in that history. And so Tiamat's just on your brain, and you may scratch the itch in whatever way you choose to.
Yeah, I guess because after just dealing with Dez's family, I think that would be like the closest thing on my mind. So I would definitely go to Dez. And so Sylvie would approach and, hey, Dez, I have a question for you. There's just something aching in my mind. You said that Tiamat, he was the one that cursed your family, correct?
That's
Or
correct.
she? Uh, why though? Like, what led to that? Can you give me some details in this?
You can make me a history check with
He's like,
advantage.
do I?
Lore.
Yeah, you definitely have a version of the story, but you're trying to see if you can get the truth.
I got 18.
18. You remember originally you were told that it was a curse. It was a blessing that was given to your family, to your great Desandra. It was a blessing from Tiamat gave everyone blessings at the end of the Primordial Prince problem. However, the other blessings are kind of like Ursine's blessings, or actually they're all like Ursine's blessings. They are the dragon marks. The only other blessing that was given out is your family's blessing that turned you into these, from elves to like these fire elves. You, from your dreams, have glimpsed that your great Desandra wasn't a like fire elf. She started as a regular person. She was a powerful druid, and you know from that very first dream that she had some sort of like, she had bad vibes about trusting Tiamat, and that was something that her and Lyric, Melody's ancestor, her girlfriend in the dream, were kind of discussing. You kind of picked up on Lyric, and the rest of the elves were like, "We're going to work with Tiamat," and your great grand was like, "Oh, just seems like it might be a bad deal." Desiree's brain would kind of plot to she may have done something to quell that stress. Saying that out loud to Sylvie's first thought would be, well, we know that the primordial princes were removed from these planes and sent back to planes of their own, you know, um, not creation, but of their own lineage. Yes, and then we know that Tiamat was a creature that was a part of that conflict and was banished from the material plane. So you could think, you would put together that there's a chance that there was a small sect of people that great Desandra led to add a fifth Titan to the mix of things. If we're gonna kick out and banish 4 big bad guys who are ruling the world, we might as well throw in the 5th one who was on our side, but for how long if they were only on our side because the other 4 big baddies were there. So she was just like, she was levels and levels ahead. And you see that, Sylvie, you catch that glimpse of like, in not villainous intent, but the intent to remove a problem, not in this timeline, but in perpetuity. It's how the hag moves. It's like, why kill you and make your children mad at me if I can just wipe out your entire line and just fix the problem?
Not worrying,
But you can kind of put together that there was some power there to ban the mother of dragons, Tiamat.
Gotcha. And Tiamat's like currently on this plane of existence with us, though, right?
She is still locked in Avernus. She can't get out of there.
She's the first level of hell.
Yeah, that's why you have like Yumi. Yumi is one of her agents. So like there are people she can send out to do things who act on her direct behalf, like Yumi. There are also like the sons of Tiamat, which are her 5 kids who like still exist and they weren't banned because they're not attached to her. Mommy got banned, but not them. Who are now grown up and they are, they do whatever they want to do. But they are also technically, agents of Tiamat, but not directly. They just carry on her name. Whereas Yumi like reports to her, whereas they probably don't, unless they're like mama boys. Who knows?
Yeah, they might be for all I know. Well, thanks, Des. I appreciate you filling me in on all of that. It gives me a little bit of insight into some of the things I've been pondering.
I think I definitely contributed a lot, so thank you for saying that.
You did the most. You did the most work in all of this.
Tanner,
I was just the mouthpiece.
Hey, sometimes that's how the game works. Someone has the information. It's probably one of you. Tanner, you remember that conversation you had? You finished that conversation and you like jumped back to the conversation you had with Yumi, and that Yumi's always kind of just been nonchalant about things. Like ever since you had captured them, they've just been like, whatever, I lost. The last time you talked to them, it was the first time that Yumi has ever. Most of your conversations go like how your conversation just went with Desiree. Like he shows up and you talk to him, and it's just like him being there and you like processing actively. The last time you were there, he actually did speak to you and he asked you questions about things and was trying to get stuff. He asked you questions specifically about Mom, and he was trying to get you to give up information because you had mentioned being upset about it, and that there's some weird
out of character.
Yeah, there's like some weirdness happening there.
Yeah.
Make me an insight check.
Okay. $28.
Ooh.
19 plus 7. Or no, wait. 26. I did bad math.
Ooh, so good. As you have been very focused on the primordial prince threat, the ice, air, earth, fire, like the things that are happening
actively
here.
At hand. Yeah.
Yeah. And then there's always a thing that's in the back of your mind of Grant Auntie is a opportunist. She doesn't often have to orchestrate drama because she knows that drama will appear inevitably, and the best thing to do is grasp at those moments. Now, while you have that, the idea that maybe she is doing her own things, but you also have someone who is an equal to the audacity of Auntie, which would be Tiamat or any of these like big power players who you've heard of. You would also think
Yeah.
of like the fungal mother. These beings who are old, ancient, powerful, and have lived so long that the things they care about wouldn't happen in one lifetime; they'd happen in several. Um, Tiamat is of the same mindset that if you know that if all of this is happening and these ley lines are getting weaker and all these borders are shifting uh, horizontally because the elements are fighting, that there's also a chance that things could leak in from other directions. The shadow fell, hell itself. Like there, if the ley lines and the barriers between the courts shift and that affects the planar borders as well, you could think that this something that could happen from this is beings exploiting this natural disaster and gaining more power. Tiamat rising from hell. You don't know what the Fungal Mother's into, but Fungal Mother doing bad shit. The Hag doing any of her, pick her top 3 of her wish list, and they're all bad for everybody else. Like those kind of things. Like this is a moment that things are decided. This is a
Like the beginning of a shift.
yes, there's a word for it that my DM brain is forgetting. It is I used it episode 1. It is a Byron's yelling at me somewhere in the distance. I say it all the time in real life, but it's a moment in time that like things can change, and I'll come back like 3 weeks and be like, it's this. But there's a word. Insert here. We'll edit it in now.
Third.
But it is a moment in like time where like things are being changed and decided, and so you just have that realization that you are dealing with a big problem, but there are also things that exist in this world outside of this plot line that are using this plot line. Okay,
For sure.
lots of stress there,
Okay.
for sure.
Yeah,
Okay.
no, that's a lot.
Thank you for letting me stress you out. Next up is Ben. Tibbet.
I want to get stressed.
Oh yeah, let's talk about conspiracy theories. All right, Tidbit. You remember that I mentioned to you that there were rumors of we were talking about blood and dark magic from Sylvie and the summoning the demons, and it was a thing that kind of stuck out of your brain. But the thing about it, outside of Sylvie doing it, was there were rumors of similar magic being used by hags and demonologists, which are hags, and demonologists, people who summon demons. And is believed to be the type. It is your personal hypothesis that is the magic that is used to hide or to bind the Court of Winter. The reason you would think that is because the Court of Winter was your like area of study in the Sky Defense Academy, and now you do know that our friend here is. You've heard Sylvie and Hag said outside of your own brain, and so it's helping you set those things into play. So, Court of Winter, Hag. If you need me to refresh you on what any of those things mean to you, I can do that as well. But
No, I think I'd find myself going and knocking on the door of Silviono. Excuse me, would you maybe have a moment to talk?
Yes, Tidbit.
Oh, wonderful. I don't know how to broach this topic delicately. I
When are
was
you
never one
delicate?
for bluntness. Exactly. So, you're a hag, right?
In what sense of the way?
Ooh. Oh. Well, that's
Deep.
true. You're not the surface level. I think deep down, yes, very core.
Oh, the core of my being is a hag.
Oh yes,
Are you stating or asking?
I believe both.
Okay. Do you feel wrong saying it? Does it feel right? You tell me.
Well, it feels correct, but
Oh, shit.
contradictory. I had heard truly such evil things about hags in the past, and yet you had entered the temple and accepted Summer Song into your soul, so you can't be evil.
Of course. Can't be evil, but can be hag. I see why you're flustered, Tidbit. That all I needed was the clarification.
Yes, but Tidbit had been thinking, and Tidbit had a question. You see, Tidbit went to the academy, and Tidbit majored in, winter, is what they called it? I don't know, but it was very cold a lot of the time. But everybody else got to go on a very fun, study abroad. And they said, no, Tidbit, not you. They don't know where to send me, because there is no winter place. But I have heard rumors. Perhaps
I
the
mean-
hag would know?
I feel like if anything, the hag would know about something that's not known about. I'm just not your hag, unfortunately. There's lots of them. Although I may know the one from the area.
Oh, so you could take Tidbit there.
Tidbit, I don't know that you really want to meet her. She's not nice.
Well, to be frank.
Why? Why would you want to
were
go
not
anyway?
quite nice either.
Well,
But
I get
Tidbit
it from
has
somewhere.
learned.
Exactly. But like why what's titillating Tidbit to want to go there?
Tidbit must be honest. Tidbit was chosen by God to bring peace across the land. And then Tidbit was told Tidbit could not see the whole land. Well, someone has been there. Why not Tidbit? Tidbit deserves to go where Tidbit wants to.
Yeah.
That's why Tidbit made winter his major. They said it was cool and forbidden, and then they forbid Tidbit from going.
But why did you have to listen to them? I thought Tidbit listened to Tidbit.
And Tidbit also listened to God. God told me to
God
listen.
told you not to go into Winterland?
Well,
No, did he? You're just
no.
letting them put you down, Tidbit. I don't know why you're listening to them. You could just go of your own fruition if you really want to. If that's all you want to do is see it.
Well, God said to listen to the headmaster, Demina, the queen. And Demina said no.
He said listen, not
Tamina.
obey. There's a difference.
Can Tanner rolled me a general charisma check, and Andrew rolled me a general wisdom check. And we're gonna suss out if you can get the vibes.
You mean me,
24.
Andrew?
I mean Ben, not Andrew. I'm so sorry.
I'll roll.
You're also really good at it.
Oh, just a general charisma, not like a saving throw.
Yeah, just a charisma check, and then a wisdom
Okay.
check from Ben.
My general wisdom is a 17.
So I got a 19.
Okay. Then you don't you know the social gymnastics that is having a conversation with Sylvie, mostly from hearing how Sylvie talks to other people. And so a lot of you're trying to like have the conversation while also filtering out like weird things that Sylvie's saying to like throw you off and like get you all riled up. And it's really hard. You feel like you're pretty confidently doing that, and so you don't think that Sylvie is leaving out anything currently. So I would just your soul feels calm as this conversation's happening. There's no inkling that Sylvie is at least like outright like telling you lies. You always feel some inkling of like that's not all the truth, but it seems like they're being at least 75% forthcoming, which is good enough for you. Not the truth, but good enough for you. And so play. Thank you.
So, You are suggesting that perhaps Demina has twisted the words of God in effort to hide something away from Tidbit?
No, Tidbit, not Tamina. You have twisted the words of God. He told you to listen, and here you are obeying. But you're not obeying him, you're obeying Demina. What is that about?
Oh. Oh no. This is
See, Tidbit.
terrible.
No, you can fix it. We can fix it now. You just listen to people. You don't.
Tidbit needs to pray to atone. Tidbit has gone against the word of God. Well, Tidbit would do their best. I think Tidbit froze them too. Oh, well,
Did freeze. I thought he was just being sassy.
but Tidbit did major in winter, so perhaps there's a cure. I have no spells for heat.
I did see he just happened in the chat and said BRB, LOL. So I don't know, maybe he lost connection. I don't know what's happening. Goofy, but that is, we'll give that a nice resting point for that conversation. And I'm gonna hope that Tanner hops back in. No one picked Tanner as their social team partner. Oh wait, is this it? The moment? Hey, welcome back. He was just finishing up that little last of the conversation with you, and so you're all great and grand. We are hopping over to our boy Andrew, the youngest old man out there. The thing that sticks in your brain, Sharp, that you're in your brain, Ursine, is about our friend Sharp. And it's just something that that hasn't sat right with you in a while, but also hasn't sat right with a lot of people, but no one's really mentioned, and it's something that has stressed you out in this something's following you kind of way, because you know that the members of the Will of Asteri are by blood. It's like you got into the Will of Asteri. You were born with that mark because your parents had the mark. They got it from their parents. Well, one of the parents, not both of them. That's weird. But it kind of moves down, and you kind of had a struggle with that when you were dealing with Sharp originally, because you're like, food folk. That's just kind of weird. How does that work? But there are ways in which people can sow their blood and not gonna use that word, sow their blood into the things that they are doing, and create some magical things. And then you learned that he was a machine, and that question has just kept recurring. How can you be of the blood if you have no blood? And that is what sits in Ursine's head, just kind of huh. And you can talk to yourself or someone in the party or the man himself, but that thing itches at you.
I'll walk up to Sharp, Mr. de Cheddarfield.
And are we on a boat?
We're on a boat.
Yeah.
Like the song.
Alright, I'm definitely sitting on the front leg last time, just watching straight forward.
Cool. I'll walk up. I'm not being sneaky or anything. Probably hear my boots on the deck.
What's happening?
Hey.
Hey.
I have some questions, if you're willing to answer.
Alright.
We are both from the material world. The other three are from here.
Yeah.
Why are you here?
Same reason as you. Blood of Asteri.
Yes, blood of steel. I've been thinking on that a little bit, and when I knew you as a food folk, it perplexed me a little bit, but I figured that it could track. But you are of Van Greech, and as far as I know, you do not bleed blood. I don't know how you reproduce, if you have lineages. I don't know of your history very much. So I'm curious how that works out. And if you are.
Well, the blood of Asteri was in Fufu. I don't know how either, because honestly, I just learned about this like you did. But wasn't my blood, because I'm not a Fufo. I overheard a conversation, followed a few leads, trying to figure out how to get into the Fae, and made friends with a bunch of crackers. And then, after listening to a few jokes, I killed them crackers. Which just so happens to be the same time that the whole teleportation blood of Asteri came through, so, little oopsie doopsie slipping. Now I'm a Power Ranger.
Yes. So you took the place of someone else who is of the will of Asteri.
Right, well, they were dead, so.
Yes. Again, why are you here? Why did you choose to jump through this portal?
Oh, I didn't think I'd have to open up to every single one of you. Oh, boy.
Well, for all I know, all of us are working towards the same goal.
Yeah, you're right. I've kind of had to turn a cog the other day. I'm still going to be mean, but, we do have to work together. And you're the one that kind of know the least stuff, so. Long story short, Van Greech is trying to get out of here because they're not from here. And the thing they want that's going to help them figure out how to get out of here is in the Fae. So, do I want to be fighting Titans? No. Will I be upset if the Fae gets destroyed? No. But if what I want here and it will get destroyed? Yes. So, kind of in a conundrum. Why are you
But
here?
what's
You don't want to be anywhere. You want to retire.
I don't. It is a matter of duty, I guess. I'm sort of stuck here. I have no other way to get back. Um, Another question, if you will. There's nothing stopping you from just. Um, it seems you have two separate goals: slaying these titans and whatever it is that you're trying to get. There's nothing stopping you from just getting what you need to, and then slipping away from here. So are you helping us here?
I haven't
I don't
talked to you in a
care
couple of
how you
weeks.
got here.
No, I'm not going to walk away because this place is freaking crazy. All right, every corner is something new. I mean, I basically lost my skin on day two. So, in a way, and don't you fucking tell anybody I said this. I kind of need you guys.
How so?
Well, when we go through the jungle and all this force and stuff together, we survive. I'm afraid if I go out there, I'm going to end up screws and bolts by day two.
That's fair.
So, and I'm sorry, I just don't find it believable that you're only here because you're moral and then you're going to retire. Someone whose whole MO is to retire obviously sounds really fed up with work. So, why is this last hurrah necessary?
At first, I was sort of going with the flow, and recently in our adventure, I learned that I had to look for someone. Um, it doesn't matter if I find them or not if the world as we know it is destroyed. So both of my objectives are important, but maintaining the natural order of the world as we know it is much more important.
Who are you looking for?
I don't know. I do know, but I don't. I've been speaking with Desiree. She's been helping me a little bit.
Yeah, she
And
can
if you
talk.
want to talk about this a little bit more later, if again, I don't care how you came here, as long as you're helping us achieve this goal. If you help us, I will help you.
I'm going to stand up and turn towards him. All right. person you don't know who is. Did that grammatically
All right.
make sense?
Kind of.
I'm gonna stick out my hand.
I don't particularly like you, Sharp, but I am starting to tolerate you much more.
Well, I appreciate that. I don't fucking like you either.
Sick. I'll shake hands.
I'm gonna sip my
Hilarious.
I'll walk away.
And as we're sitting in those moments, it is in fact our boy Scott's turn. And as Ursine has brought a secret that you didn't realize was still a secret to some people, because you've talked about that to some people, you just haven't talked about it to Ursine, and so it hasn't come up before. So it's that like idea of bringing up old things is like stuck in your head, and then it tracks to you because you start to remember. You're looking around the Fae, it's cute. You kind of got that like sour taste in your mouth for a guy who can't taste things. You're just kind of like annoyed as you're looking out over the water. The Fae, very beautiful, just doesn't have the pizzazz for you. But then you look up in the sky and you don't see it, but you remember that you just imagine seeing a giant flying school hovering over your head, and that concept is like mind blowing, and it takes you back to your two party members, who are from the Sky Defense Academy, and you remember thinking that Desiree and Tidbit, while the same, are just so different for two people who are supposed to be, equals. And like that delineation is wild. Can you make me an investigation check with advantage?
I'm gonna use a flash of genius to make it a 21.
Okay, perfect. And for the girls and boys at home, and those who don't subscribe to those two options, this is the difference between intelligence and wisdom. Scott, you 21. You think about the Des and Tidbit, and you're like stacking them up. You're doing pros and cons. You're making your list. Your brain is like hard, like you are gripping the edge of that banister, and you are thinking about this, and it's just kind of going, and like a microwave, like hitting that last 000, and ding, your brain gets it. Desiree said it to you, but now you get it. Desiree, maybe spy is a strong word, but Desiree is very much like you. Like you were created to like fit a role, and she was the human version of that. They took what she was and like formed her into something that could fit into different places. There's something about her at the Sky Defense Academy that made her observational, less about herself and more about other things. And that's just not an energy that you see from Tidbit. So it's not a tactician thing. There has to be something else that is going on in there. And she mentioned to you before that she was a spy, or she like spent time like not a spy, but she spent time like trying to not be seen. And those wording was just like really weird to you because who talks like that? And the longer you've been here, you realize the Fae are really bad at lying. They're like they will just say how it is because they don't think about lying often, except Sylvie. That's the second category. But you think about that, and your brain just goes to this place of if Tidbit is a tactician, which makes sense. Like he does support things, and so does she. But she's just a lot more bitey. She asks a lot of questions about things. She can wild shape into different animals and blend into environments. She has this spy quality about her, or this like she's wearing a mask, or at least playing a character. And as you're sitting there looking out at over the water, you just have that realization. You're like, oh, she wasn't lying. Like she said that weird thing to you, and you thought it was just like a kid being like, I can fly. And then you see that kid flying, and you're like, oh, that little kid wasn't lying. He can literally just fly. Oops. And so as you are sitting there, you realize that Desiree did tell you the truth, that she is this weird spy thing, which you understand. And then you are confused about it again because why does the Fae need spies if you're all connected? Who is she spying on? What is she spying on? And so those are the things that start to churn in your head as you realize this thing about the nicest person in your party.
Hey, everybody, can we bring it in for a second?
Little team pep talk. Loving it.
Everyone's needed.
Yeah.
Yes.
All right. So, something I want to talk about. We've kind of been on this for a couple days now, all right? We're slowly getting to know each other. You know, I'm starting to understand everyone a little more, and there's something I'm kind of seeing that's in common. I just feel like we're all a slave to something, to somebody. We're all being controlled somehow. Feels like everything we do is for somebody else. Tidbit, the clock runs you down. You know,
Well,
Ursine, it barks you there. Pun intended. Sylvie, shadows. I don't even know yours yet, but I know you're listening to somebody, and I know it's hard for you to take instructions from somebody, so they must be pretty strong. Uh, Desiree, the books, the past, dictates what you do. Me, personally, a giant fucking robot in the middle of the material planes telling me what to do. I think we should all take some time to say screw it. I don't feel like I really knows yous guys and what yous want. After talking, I feel like I just knows what your boss wants. You know what I mean? I think that's why I don't really like you guys that much. Because I see myself in you. Just listening to somebody. And I think if I'm going to actually start to like you guys, I got to open up too. So, I got a box, a magical box that I communicate back to the Overlord of Vangreach. And I am currently looking on a mission for special dirt brought by a Warforged, the original, so that they can use it in their location beacon to get the hell out of the material plane and get back to their original place. But what you've been seeing me do, I'm going to open it up, pull out the little. I've been writing, screw you, go kick rocks. And it's been pissing them off, but it feels so good. So I invite you. Yeah?
Unfortunately, as you open that box, I need everyone to make me a deck save.
Oh, this is going to backfire.
What the hell?
Oh, nat 20.
That's wonderful.
Perfect. That's wonderful.
16.
I got a 10.
I also got a 10.
10 babies.
Academy buddies.
I got a 10 as well.
Oh my god.
Oh, what the hell?
Yes.
Scott stole all the luck. I heard, so we got a 10, 10, 10, a 20. What's
16.
missing? And a 16. Okay. Hold.
Not a 10.
Oh wait, I didn't. 14 did not add proficiency.
Oh, not in the 10 club either. Haha, you're out.
Back to
I don't
Academy
want. I don't want.
buddies.
I don't want to
not
be in
even
the
in
10
it.
club. Don't get me wrong. I do not want to be in the 10 club.
It's okay. Let's start the day by hurting the healers.
Yeah.
It's a good old day. My friends who have a passive wisdom or passive perception of 16 or higher can make me a perception check to see what the fuck just happened.
Damn.
I got a nat 20 on my perception for a 27.
Ooh.
Perfect.
I got an 18 for a 28. I think Erica's is better though.
Copy
I
that.
got a 17.
All right.
I see it, but I'm not moving.
So, everyone's gonna opens this box. He's giving this like impassionate speech about radical neutrality or like radical honesty and being friends. And he opens this box, and Desiree and Ursine see, or fuck, I'm feeling bad for these names. Desiree and Tidbit see a glimpse of this symbol. It's the symbol itself is not that important, but what you know that it's more than a symbol. It is the symbol spell, and so you know that it is it is holding it is something that is holding a spell in it that is being activated by the that is typically activated by opening up a book or stepping on the thing, and so the opening of this thing has triggered this sigil. Um, and so you two catch that. Tidbit, you remember the last time you saw this box being opened was that really weird conversation that you had in the sky where Sharp was like cursing at the box and being like, "Fuck you, I quit." Da, da, da. And it was like always like a weird moments, and he closed the box and you went away. And you see your insight, your passive insight of 20 tells you that they are responding in kind. As everyone except for Sharp, who got a nat 20, so I will honor that. Takes 25 points of fire damage as a fireball spell explodes out of that symbol and hits you all. Also, let's not forget you are on a wooden raft. It also goes kaplooey. Your hippocamps take a bunch of damage and are stirred. And so you all, I'll repaint the scene. You have been riding down the side of the beach, very like the wakeboarders do. Like, oh, I'm like in the water, but not really. You like are like that close to the water as these hippocamps have been running parallel to the coastline, just taking you straight towards the court of autumn until and you have this massive explosion that happens on the side of the beach, causing you all to lose your raft, your hippocamps, take some damage, and you find yourself just all like that. He was like, "And I am from," and it just chaos ensues, and you're all welcome to. You're in the ocean. You're in the ocean, so it's not taking you the way you were going, but you do know if you stayed it will pull you out to sea. So you just need to, but getting to land will not be a hard thing. It just needs to be a conscious and active choice. So, how does everyone get out of what? One of you can fly, so whatever.
Never hit the water.
But that happens, and so you guys can tell me how you get creative about it. Maybe you save the boat. Who knows?
Tidbit welcomes the water. Wait, no, it's salt water. Never mind.
Who can't fly? Everyone but
I can fly for 1 minute.
You can fly for a minute. Okay, I will cast fly. Touch a willing creature. I can only touch two. Okay, I'll cast it in a fourth level slot, and I'll touch Desiree and Tidbit so they can fly, and I'll just swim.
I could have misty stepped, but I'll take that too.
You can breathe
She
in
also
water.
get turned into like a water thing. It's
Yeah.
fine. He's being helpful. He feels bad that he blew you guys up. So he, Sharp reaches out and touches everyone who's not flying, and they begin to fly, except for himself, who stays in the water, and Sylvie, who's already flying. And the coast is not too far away, 60 feet at best. Sharp, I just need you to make me a dexterity saving throw.
That's pretty good. 22.
Oh yeah, you feel that the water is starting to try to pull you out into the current, but you're able to whatever you think you swimming looks like is that. I don't know what.
I don't even know, bro.
Just riding the waves. Woo!
No
Pull her
idea.
feet start spinning.
I'm
I
also
don't
metal, so it's not like I'm floating. Like, I don't know.
know. Just walks the bottom. I also don't think you like breathe, right? So you can just like walk up.
That's what I'll do. I'll just go to the bottom and walk along the bottom like the scene in Pirates of the Caribbean.
Just walks out of the water. Just water pouring out of his holes instead of acid. Just and you all find yourself standing on the
Sorry
beach.
about that, everybody.
Now
And
what are we supposed to do?
It's fine.
and they're welcome to inform you of what happened because you did not know what just happened to you. You were not expecting that thing to blow up, but two of them did see the symbol spell.
Yeah, I don't know what that was. That wasn't a normal thing. Oops.
Did you make them mad?
Oh yeah, I royally pissed them off.
Well, it appears they sent you a carefully crafted, time-delayed explosive symbol.
Yeah, but you know what?
It's pretty sick.
Goes back to my original point. Still feels pretty good, and even in their retaliation, can't touch this. We start dancing, saying,
Oh, should we retaliate to them?
How so?
I mean,
Do we have any bombs
can't we
on
do
us?
sigils? You know about
I don't-
sigils. Do we know bombs?
Well, here's the thing. I eventually want to take them back the thing they want, so I can be like, hoo-yah, you know.
Yeah, but what about just a little hee hee ha ha moment?
Well, I maybe got an idea. I'm gonna pull the box back out. Anyone find the water makes you need to relieve yourself?
Oh. Sylvie pisses in the box.
I'm
Oh.
scared. I'm scared that if we escalate the situation, they're just gonna send bigger and bigger explosions our way.
Well, I'll just aim it
Yeah,
in the
we'll keep
direction.
pissing in the box.
Or counterpoint, we could choose not to open it anymore.
There we go.
Yeah, but what fun is that? They sent explosives through a box! That sounds great!
Wait. I don't think that's a bad idea. I mean, they want what I got, they're not gonna get it until I bring it back. And I'll be back when I'm back. So why
Yeah.
the fuck do I got a telephone ringing every 5 minutes? Does anyone know how do you get rid of a magical thing?
Forcefully.
Alright, Tidbit.
Okay,
Forcefully remove
interesting
this
take.
magic chest from my chest.
Oh,
Is
counterpoint. It might be useful to have an insured explosive in a box that we can just pull out.
That's even better. We really piss him off and then throw the box into a fight.
I'm
not understanding that logic.
Also,
Here,
why did we urinate in it?
I think
Oh, because it's funny.
the original point was for us all to do something to show our overlords that we're individuals and we can come together as a party if we're not doing what they want all the time, you know?
Yeah, so piss in the box, Tidbit.
But perhaps Tidbit is incorrect, but you say you want to throw off your yoke, so to speak, to stick it to your employer, and yet you are working very, very hard to bring something back to them. At the end of the day, it seems to Tidbit that you are beholden to your own expectations of yourself.
Ooh.
Do I need to lay down? Well, the thing is, Tidbit, our race is not from here. I want them to get back, even if all the jerks got to get back too.
Oh. Well, then, in that case, if we want to add more liquid to the box, we could open it and throw it into the ocean.
I'm gonna slide it towards Tidbit. Be my guest.
I assume it's bigger than me and I can't lift it.
Unless it comes in two forms. It has a tiny form that it normally stays in, and then the big form. So it can be in the tiny form. Oh, it's in big form. You figure it out.
I'm just.
If we want to use it as a delayed explosive, I can place a trap in the box to hopefully ensure an attack when we open it.
Ooh, I'm gonna make it
Oh,
small and
yeah.
float it over to so that Tidbit just like goes into the water. All right, go ahead.
Is the box not here anymore? Is it over the water?
It's just small.
You
Okay.
know, I could probably also summon some demons in the box.
Ooh, I'm gonna move it over to Celia.
Look at this discussing violence.
This is starting to border on my moral boundaries.
Listen, enough of the box. I'm gonna make this beer. We're forgetting the point. We're all talking about how I'm dissing my person. Let's all come together. Erstein, tell that tree lady to stick it. Go ahead.
I don't know if that would get the reaction that you desire. And also, I have a deep friendship with my quote tree lady.
All right.
I deeply respect them. They respect me. It is a mutual relationship. I do not work for them, but I care for them.
What about you, Desiree? You gonna burn a book? Do we need to fight the Florida education system?
Do I get to pick which one? I mean, I'm quite fond of all of them, but
Yes, pick one.
okay, you'll need to give me precisely 4.5 days so that I can read all of them and decide which one is of least importance.
Do you have an empty journal?
I'm gonna get on my knees in front of Tidbit. Tidbit, please, just one time, tell Summer Song to kick rocks.
Well, do you think he would enjoy that?
You have to say it with disdain, with triumph, with oomph.
Oh, I, I don't really know what oomph is.
Sylvie, please turn to the shadows and tell whoever that is to bugger off.
Me? What shadows? What are you talking about? I don't listen to
Sylvie, I'm down the
anyone.
beach. I'm
Crazy Sharp.
Oh, Sylvia, they're talking about your scary connection.
Oh. But I also like her.
I'm just on the
I
beach
do feel closer.
screaming into the air at this point. So you guys are gonna talk a little louder.
Tidbit takes up down the beach. Or not. This name thing is really fucking me up. Sharp takes
Yeah.
up down the beach, arms flailing in the air, screaming, just letting it all out. This is the first time you've seen Sharp like. He's always been kind of like he's had that like that bite to him, but you never like seen him like really worked up. He seems worked up in this moment, and he just takes up down the beach. And a couple things happen. One, Sharp, you can make me a intelligence saving throw at advantage. Sylvie, you can make me a perception check at advantage. And just those two things. Those last two things before we go to
Are they
bathroom
against
break.
each other?
No,
Okay, then
they're
never
two.
mind.
They're with each other.
They're separate things that are happening.
Okay.
18?
18. 23. As you're running down the beach, you're screaming and you're like, "Oh my god, does everyone like their boss? Like this is crazy!" And you're just like thinking of all the like your brain is playing through every message that boss is sending you, like the borderline abusive relationship you have with your boss, and it's just like has been working at you. And then you think about how everyone else talks about their boss, and you're like, that is not the relationship that they have. But then you click in your brain and you believe you serve Prime Ultimatus, who is supposed to be this like the epitome of logic. You've never really heard of Prime Ultimatus like being mad or like having emotions. It's always just like it's just the next calculated step. When compared to your brain would think you being a bratty kid, as long as you're doing your job, wouldn't elicit a bratty response from him, but you are getting a bratty response. So your brain starts to go to this point of, am I working for who I think I'm working for? Like this is it now doesn't seem like this is Prime Ultimatus, because why is he throwing a fit that you are doing your job? You are in the Fae, you are getting information, you are still answering, even if you're just being bitchy about it, you're still answering the messages and getting information back to him. So like what is that disconnection? And the only thing you can think of is you're not talking to who you think you're talking to. Which is the first time that thought has crossed your brain, because you've never been in a position where you've could say anything back. You've always just been bad at your job because you weren't in the Fae, but now you're here. You're doing all the stuff and you're still getting this. You're getting even more cattiness, being like, I can't make you happy. And then you realize, oh, I can't make you happy, but also you may not be who I think you are. So you just have that realization as you're running down the beach, having this release of energy. You're like, these revelations are coming to you. And as you sit on that, Tanner, Sylvie, you are all this chaos happening. Friend is running down the beach. You have your friends like kind of looking at the boxes. You're like, I can do demon rituals. Corner of your eye, you see standing in the brush, opposite of the water, like in the woods. You see a small, 1 inch tall figure, kind of standing there, looking at you. You see its eyes, kind of like eyes are pinpoints, but it's moving so much in a still place that it's just these eyes are like vibrating around in space, but they're obviously just standing still and they just have so much energy inside of them. But you see that Lorning is looking at you. And we're gonna go to bathroom break right here. Scout's like, whoa, we're gonna go to the bathroom break on a cliffhanger. That's right, friends. So we'll come back. Also, I did learn that the word I forgot earlier was inflection point. This is an inflection point where things get wild. I bring it up all the time in real life. Okay, go to the bathroom. Go to the bathroom. Thank you. We're back with revelations and sightings. We're going to start with our revelation first. We have a machine running down the beach, upset that their friends have good relationships with their bosses and he doesn't. But is my boss even my boss? Who's to say? We cut to Tidbit. Not Tidbit. Damn it, we got the Sharp. I'm going to... 19 episodes in and I don't know the names of anything. We're going to cut to Sharp, who was flailing down the beach, screaming and having revelations. What's going through your brain?
I'm gonna pull the chest back from where they are. They're just gonna turn and see me, like full rage. I'm gonna pull that chest back into them small into my hand, and then I'm just gonna turn towards the ocean and chuck it. I don't know if this actually gets rid of it because it's magical, but cathartically it does.
Yeah.
Yep. I'm gonna toss that thing to. Boop. So mentally, I'm running solo.
Okay.
Well,
perfect.
Yeah.
Yeah. Just solo, but with a group. We get
Yeah,
it.
solo, but with.
I'm California sober. Yeah, California solo. Here we are.
and then there's still a little bit of years and years of pent up, the years of being stuck on the wall with a paper across my face that says not useful. So I'm just going to use this opportunity, as the therapist would say, to keep releasing and then start beating the sand and break any. I'm going to run up to the trees and just start beating the crap out of the trees and ripping down leaves and like taking my tools and stabbing it over and over and just yelling.
Yeah, Ursine, Desiree, and Tidbit are drawn to what is first the screaming. He screams. He runs away. He flails. He kind of like falls down to his knees. He's like, one of those kind of moments. He gets up, dusts himself off, chucks the thing into the ocean, stands there again, starts beating the ground, and he's just getting this from a back shot, and it's just like from stillness to anchored motion, the stillness to anchored motion. There's no like, you don't get to do the thing where you can see someone like breathing, you can see sweat. He's just machine. It's like on and off. And so you all start to approach him as he is having this tantrum. Sylvie, you do not approach. You are eyes locked on this. Well, you're trying to lock eyes with this learning, which is, its eyes are moving, but it is watching you. And it is moving, and you see it watches you, it sees everyone else start to run away, and then it starts to move slowly backwards. Like, it's like taking one step, but it's like keeping eyes with you, as if trying to get you to dance with it. And it's like right foot back, left foot back.
I mean, I'm definitely, like, ready to dance. Because, I mean, they're preoccupied with Sharp. He's having a moment. We've all had moments. I get it. This is what I'm paying attention to. And I'm, like, giving it the eyes, like, take me. I'll follow.
As soon as you start to follow it, it will start to... It doesn't turn around. It just starts to, like, back jog. But very, very quickly. It is... You can see that it's moving... It kind of like runs back and runs forward. It's like it moves. So it has a 120-foot movement speed. So it kind of just moves hella fast. And so it will run forward, then run back to you, and run forward and run back. Kind of like a dog that's trying to go on a walk with you, but it's leading, but doesn't know where it's going. So it's like, wait, you still here? Wait, you still here? And so it's just doing this thing with you.
Yeah,
you're moving as fast as you can, but no matter how fast you go, it's just not fast enough. And so you just have this moment. The rest of the party, you're consoling your friend, or one, you have the option to console. I was gonna say, you can console your friend, or you can just let him have his moment. He's, why he's having a tantrum, at least on some levels. His boss is bad. He's sad about it. You all get that on some levels, but you have the option to either help him or just to give him some space and let him have his moment. You tell me. I'll start with the. Go for it.
As Desiree approaches, she's gonna kind of be like looking at the others as they're all walking towards Sharp and be like, he's behaving very erratically. You don't think he's short-circuiting, do you? Is that even possible?
I Can I roll like a history check or something to see if that's the thing?
See, yeah.
Okay. That's a nat 20.
You've never heard of Warforges short circuiting. They can be in water and things. You think he's just probably he is short circuiting the way that a person would short circuit.
No, I think he's just having a bit of a personal crisis at the moment. There's a lot to deal with. We're all under a lot of stress right now.
Desiree's gonna kind of walk ahead of them and approach Sharp and put a hand on his shoulder and go, well, I know you're kind of having a lot of feelings right now, and I don't know if this makes it any better, but even if your boss doesn't like you, me and the gang here really like you, and we're glad you're a part of us.
Just kick the last little stick. Just kind of look at Desiree.
As she sees him calming down, she's gonna go, and she's gonna lean in and whisper a little bit. On a positive note, if that chess kind of works the way we're thinking it works, you can be happy about the fact that your boss might be getting a face full of pee soon.
I'm just gonna shove Desiree while laughing. That's funny. Yeah, you're right. I'm gonna put my hand out towards the ocean so the chest flies back into my hand as that small little one. Just start shaking it up. Sorry about that.
Hear it sloshing around in there. I'm just like, wow.
I think I'm good now. Yeah, I think I'm good now. Yeah.
Desiree will turn after that to the other two and just be like,
you see that Tidbit has his eyes on something that is coming down the mountain. Ocean, beach, mountain to your side. Also, fun fact: you are close enough that you realize, as explosions, all this is happening, that you are close enough that the mountain is on. You are between mountain and ocean. You are in that pass that leads to the Court of Autumn. You are very close to where you're going. But you see that Tidbit has his eyes locked on something that's coming down the mountain, and then Ursine, who is also walking up, has his eyes locked on something that is out at sea. Not the way that Sharp was throwing things, which is very he just kind of turns and hucks it, but towards where you're going out at sea. Ursine has his eyes locked on something, and I'll start with Ursine. Ursine, you see. Desiree, you see him looking at this. You turn around and you're making this face, and then you see them. They look like they're mesmerized. Ursine is looking out out in front of you, out into the water, and you see it is different than the Court of Summer Water, because the Court of Summer Water is very ooh, it's beach season, it's Memorial Day, the pool just open, it's crystalline, it's giving summer vibes. There is a imaginary line, Mediterranean, that goes through the sea. You know where the border exists in some way, which is maybe a mile ahead of you. But you see that the water changes. It goes from this crystalline, purified water to this it's choked with sargassum and moss and seaweed, a lot of things floating on top of the sea, but there's just an invisible barrier that prevents it from crossing over into what would be the Court of Summer. So it's beautiful waters, and then just an invisible line that prevents all the pollution from the other side coming up. And he's looking at that in the distance, so he sees the Court of Autumn, coming down, and you're that's crazy, but you're doing the full turn because also what's your frog looking at? You keep turning, and you see that Tidbit has his eyes locked on this absolutely beautiful. It's majestic. It is a stag that has 4 huge antlers on each side, 4 branches of antlers. They are massive. They're wide. In between them, there is a crystal that is kind of oscillating. It looks like a mixture between being biological and it being arcane or natural. It looks, kind of like between is it alive or is it not. This thing has like real big dramatic earlobes. There's like two of them that hang down, and then like a goat like set of ears. So it's got like a whole like inner like magnificent aura to it. And you see that is walking down the hill, and there is someone sitting on the back of it. A very like Lady Godiva, half dressed, long hair, humanoid figure, just like riding down on the back of this thing that is like just like walking very much like it's given like incline is like bam, and it's just like walking down slowly down this hill towards you, and that is what you see around you. And also, anyone can make me a well, not Tanner, but anyone who's here can make me a invest a check that you would feel appropriate to knowing if you know mythological animals. That can be animal handling or an insight, or it could be an investigation. I'm open to whatever my friends want to roll to identify the wildness that is happening. And that is everyone except for Sylvie.
I got a 13.
On a what?
Investigation with a
Okay.
plus 9, which is awful.
Okay.
I've got a 22 on a religion.
Okay.
Do you think I could do survival or animal handling?
Yeah.
Okay.
Whichever one you want.
I got a dirty 20 on investigation.
Perfect.
I got a 17 on. Oh wait, I had a D4. I got a dirty 20 on survival.
Nice. We'll start with the lowest and work our way up. Erica, you know that there are mystical beasts that exist. Sometimes they are that because they are no longer like there used to be a bunch of them, and now there's just like an endangered animal. And it's like, oh, there used to be a whole herd of future seeing deer, and now there's just one future seeing deer. So it's like the future seeing deer because there's no more. So you know that there are like these type of animal classifications. This one doesn't look like one from the Court of Summer, so you don't know much about it, but it would probably fit into one of those classifications because it's just so opulent. Like there's no way that it's not like giving forest deity in some way. That was you to me. What was Andrew? What'd you have?
Dirty 20 survival.
20. Okay. Scott, what'd you have?
Dirty 20 investigation.
Dirty 20, that's so dirty. And Ben, what'd you have?
22 religion.
Chrissy, you better say dirty 20. Okay. My
Dirty
my
22.
Filthy 22.
My material planers. You have heard of tales of beasts that come from the Fae that often are hard to explain. Things you would not see in the material plane. You guys both, through your own various means, have heard of the Empyrean stag, which is what this thing is. It is normally either viewed as either a harbinger of bad things, like either it shows up and bad things happen, or it is an omen of bad things. It shows up because bad things are happening, and your mythological records just kind of like go back and forth, and it will kind of send you into discussion as you're seeing that. You're like, oh, a harbinger of evil, and you're like, and one of you is like, no, it means that like something evil is happening and it's coming here, and just puts you at like at a point of contention to figuring out what's going on between its actual origins. And then we'll give you the 22 religion, which is that Empyrean stags are of pseudo-divine nature. They are protectors of forests. They protect forests. I don't like that word. That's crazy. They protect forests, and they are they're not emotional about it. If a good person has a bad day and chops on a tree, that person is a bad person to them. If a bad person, chops on a tree, that person's a bad person. They don't really care what you're doing. If it hurts the forest, they are gonna go after you. They are these protectors. You know that if you can communicate with them, those who have been able to get information from them, know that it always speaks truthfully, which is a sometimes good, sometimes bad, particularly with things that can see death and or destruction. You don't often want to hear about how you are going to die, and it is known for telling people that if they get close enough. Um, and you know that if you look at that thing that is floating in between their antlers, it is rumored to show you glimpses, often incomprehensible, but glimpses of the future and different events and realities that it can it's moving through. Um, it is to you, a person who believes in God and talks to God, a divine creature. And so you all see this large Empyrean stag just kind of making its way down the mountain. It's celestial. It is large classification, naturally neutrally good. So things that everyone would know via those crazy high rolls. And so you see that majestically descending this hill with a hottie on the back who you know nothing about except they're hot.
Tidbit's gonna bow. Bow on down, kind of turn aside.
Desiree's gonna follow suit and bow along with Tidbit.
I'll get on a knee while being like, holy shit, this story's true.
I'll also get on a knee just because it seems like everybody's going down levels, but I'm not complete. I'll wave though. I'll do a wave. I don't know customs.
Yeah. As this thing starts to descend this mountain, it kind of gets to the ground, and you see that as its hooves touch the sand, that almost like little fireworks are happening, like little stars are shooting off from its feet. Like it's like everywhere it touches, it's just like a magical experience. And it kind of walks up to it kind of walks up to you, and it kind of like we'll start with Tidbit, and kind of like as you're down, it will kind of reach its head down and acknowledge you, and it goes to each of you and does that, except for Ursine, and it gets to him, and he is like standing up, and it kind of looks down at you, and then it kind of like just looks back up, and then we'll just like it makes a circle. So like it goes to each of you in a line, and then it circles around, so now it is horizontal, and you see this person has like drapes themselves over, and it just looks at you. Doesn't say anything, but they just look at you, and now you can see this person. They are. It's like someone took a academic interpretation of what like canonical beauty is, and then like cut it out and then put it on top of this horse. Like this is like someone's idea of, and it seems almost like artificial or put on, but it seems like this thing is giving I'm pretty and I'm pretty and not a threat, and so it's trying to give, not a threat. Do any of you feel threatened by it on a character level, intentionally?
I'm gonna say that Desiree is like she's bowing, but when she gets a chance to finally look like up and see close range, like the creature that's on the horse, she's gonna go, "You're the most beautiful thing I've ever seen," and just be like, in a daze or awe, but still like bent down, but just with the head up.
Anyone else?
I think Ursine, knowing sort of the symbolism of the creature, is slightly on edge. I don't know if they're like. I don't think that I am like directly feeling threatened by what's happening right now, but anything could happen. So there's probably just lots of things, like different scenarios running through his head.
I'm gonna look up at it. Just kind of give a squinty eye at the writer. Someone's writing it, right?
Mm-hmm.
And just say, I know what your deal is. But listen, keep it to yourself, alright? We're a flippin' team, and we're gonna save this home of yours, alright? So don't nobody bring me no bad news. I didn't mean to sing that last part. I got into the whiz. My bad.
Yeah, as you all kind of like have those like moments in passing, the writer goes from like being in an actual riding position to like they turn over so that way they are facing you, still sitting on the horse, but both legs are facing you. Cross one of their legs and they flip their hair back. It's like it's blonde hair. They have like very fair skin. It's giving very like I was born on a nudist beach and like I would die on a nudist beach. I'm just like this like Aphrodite. So like she like throws her hair back and she just kind of sits there and then she says in the woman sitting on the horse says in a language that you all understand that is not common, so it's in a different blood tongue, but she speaks in one way, but you all hear it in a different language. Oh, well, it seems heroes have arrived. Hello, heroes. And her voice is angelic. It sounds like she's speaking, and it's almost like someone's playing like a choir track in the back, and it's like, she's like, oh.
I've never heard goblins so beautifully before.
Goblin.
That's my headcanon.
I could get used to this. I should have peed in that treasure chest years ago.
Oh, can Tidbit go first? Tell Tidbit how Tidbit dies.
Whoa!
Oh,
Is that what's happening?
you mean that's his thing? And she kind of reaches out and pets the head of the stag. The stag is the one that has the ability to do that.
Okay, never mind. This one.
That's the head of the stag. Well, we know that we're not allowed to tell you that. We've got it on good word that your future is predetermined.
Do we win?
Oh, I'm sorry. Not your future.
Oh, okay.
Your future. And she points at Tidbit. But no, I will not tell you how you die, and he will not either. But one of you did call us here. And I'm just curious to know if you all know who did it.
Was it the
Kind of
box?
Smiles.
Was it the box? Is this who you're talking to, Shaw?
I was talking to a freaking horse?
We peed in that
disrespectful.
box.
That's why your hair's blonde!
No.
Oh, you mortals are so interesting. You are kind of right and also kind of wrong. We're not from the box, but we are from you. You called out the gods, right? You said turn on them, and they all said no. So we're here to reward them, not you. As you've mentioned, you don't want what we brought here, and you're going to save the day on your own. But we do appreciate you opening that door for us to step through.
You're welcome.
Of course. And then she takes her hair the other way and she sheds it back. This time, as she takes her hair back, she shape changes into her true form, which is just a ball of light. So now it's just like there's just like 30 feet of light just like radiating off this horse, and it's like, and she's like, you can't gaze upon me, pointing at Sharp, but you all may gaze upon me. And there's this like, as if the sun is telling you that you can look at it and your eyes stop hurting from looking at the sun, except for Sharp, whose eyes hurt from looking at the sun. You gaze upon this thing, and it's just like she is a ball of radiating light sitting atop this horse, and she is just radiating. And she looks at you, and she smiles, and we cut over to our friend who's in the woods, chasing after a Lorning, who's having a very similar but albeit different experience as you chase that Lorning for about maybe like 5 minutes, which is you like dashing through the woods. Like this thing is like
Yeah, it's a lot.
moving slow and it's
A
you
lot of
dash.
running.
And then it eventually comes to a halt, and it is standing there, and it is standing in kind of just the woods. You notice, interestingly, there are 3 trees in front of you. Like it's like like almost like a open triangle, and you were at the base of it. You're kind of in between one of the 3, not in the center, but in between one of the 3.
Yeah.
And you hear 3 voices that speak as one. And you will know that it is. You assume that it is at least one of the voices is Blightstraw, and then you would assume the other ones are Nightshade and Moongrove, members of the Hourglass Coven, who speak and step out each from behind a tree. Well, it took you long enough. Welcome, young one.
Mean.
You're slow.
Noted. But it's not like y'all to reach out anyway.
You're right. So that must mean something is amiss. And I'm sure you've got your mother's claws in it.
My own claws. But hers are behind those.
Are they really your claws if they come from someone else? Matter of
Well, yeah,
opinion,
they're
I
still my
suppose.
claws. It just moves my claws.
Oh, so much left to learn. Well, we wanted to lay eyes on this prodigal child. We've heard stories about you.
Oh. And what might you
Oh,
have heard?
nothing good, and it makes us excited.
Oh. Likewise, but not excited.
Mommy doesn't like her sisters. It's okay.
No, mommy hates.
We don't like that bitch either. That's why we kicked her out. But I bet she didn't tell you that part, did she?
Oh, she didn't.
Oh, she does like to keep her version of the story, but the Hourglass Coven, we know past, present, and future. There's no room for interpretation, and she did not like that.
Wait, so she was in a coven? She was in this coven?
Hmm, not per se. You know who we are. Surely in name, the Hourglass Coven, but you know who we are in birthright, correct? How we came to be, these 3?
Well, not really.
Oh, well, it seems your mother's not the only one who matters. There are those who come before her. Most notably, her mother, also known as our mother, also known as Baba Yaga. But, you know, a powerful woman goes by many names. We call her mother. Mother.
Yeah, no, mother is a good mothering. Baba Yaga? Does this
You know,
have something to do with her?
she is the hag, so anything we do has to do with her. But she was like us before, not Baba Yaga, but your mother was like us, one of Baba Yaga's daughters. Until, well, like we said, there's no room for interpretation in time. So she had to go. 3 aspects already selected, and she just wanted more than was slotted for her, and so she took and she took, and then we took. And now where is she? Hiding in the court of winter, hiding from us? Poor her.
Hiding?
Oh, well, I'm sorry. Is she attending parties in all the other courts, or does she stay in her court?
I don't know. Are y'all attending parties in all the other courts?
We do. We get around.
You look like it.
Thank you. We try. We've got nothing to hide, unlike you. Which this is interesting. We've never seen this before, but that was your mother's thing,
What do
making
you mean
up
this?
new. This? You?
Moi?
No. Yes. I thought you said Maz, alright. Yes, you are new. We don't know how we feel about new, but it does interest us, whether it goes good or bad.
What, you don't like a hybrid?
Hmm. Some things just are supposed to stay in the lanes they were designed for, but where do those things go that were designed to be in all the lanes? That interests us.
Let me go on all the lanes. But
You
why are y'all
seem-
reaching out to me?
You seem to have gotten yourself into some important plots that are cooking. Before you were just a toy, but now you're a player, a set piece, and perhaps you may even become the star. But that all determines on what you do here. And we want to sway the outcome, let's say.
Like a typical witch?
Like a typical witch. You know, Mother did learn from the best. Why cause a problem when you can just wait for one to appear and then just make sure it works out in your favor? And so, I see a problem standing in front of me, and I want to make sure it works out in our favor.
Am I the problem standing in front of you?
You are. Not for us,
Well,
but you are a problem. That's exciting.
oh, I see what you're saying here. You are just waiting on the chaos to happen around me. Seize the opportunity, like all the others.
Oh, you think so small of yourself. Sure, you will bring chaos around you, but you will cause chaos that will ripple through the ages. And that is what we want. You'll probably be long gone before we ever truly get the thing that we are looking for. But this is a foundational stone that should be set now. You know, you've got that boy who calls himself the chosen of time, but sometimes there's more to the story than even gods know.
Oh, really? I feel like you're just beating around the bush here a bit. If you just want to get to the point of what you're wanting out of all of this.
Oh, honey. Like I said, the things I want, you cannot give me, but this conversation will set those things astray. Perhaps it is I who can give you something. You don't seem to know much about your mother. Perhaps we can clear some things up. And we only speak the truth here because lies are so open to interpretation. It's easier to just be. So if you have any questions about Auntie Weber, uses her, which you may have never heard, but she says her real, like not Auntie BB, says her
Government name.
real name. It's just like,
I mean, and you're not gonna lie?
no, the truth is way more fun. We leave the lies to our former sister. We'll deal
So,
with truth.
how was I exactly brought to being? Because I think her version of stories might be a little different.
We cut over to our other players who are sitting outside with the with what you now know is a living portent. It is that being of pure light and energy is a living portent. It is a embodiment of prophecy sent. And she sits on top of this horse. She looks out at you. So the three of you touched by nature, you cursed by a dragon, and you favored by time. You three get to compete for our divine favor. One of you will leave here blessed. The rest of you will leave here. Period. You just leave. So
This sounds like it's going to be time consuming. Can we just choose one and then go?
Does this involve talking to you? Because I'm afraid that if I talk to you for longer than 10 seconds, I might throw up.
Tidbit. I guess it's Tidbit then.
Oh, well, Tidbit was going to put it on someone else because Tidbit has a lot of favor and didn't necessarily want to take, too much. Tidbit acknowledges that Tidbit comes from a place of privilege.
Three of you all saying you'll give it to someone else. That is prophetic. I love it. Okay. You are touched. You're correct. So no for you.
Mhm.
Cursed One and Nature Boy. Let's see. Make me a contested animal handling check.
Cool. 2 plus 9. It's an 11.
Woo! Erica. Animal handling, please.
That was a dirty 20.
Interesting. Boo-boo. Okay. As she eliminates Tidbit, she swings the horse around, and the horse kind of places its head in between you, and you both put your hand on each side of each antlers on each side. So it's one on the left, one on the right, and she stares into Sharp. You see her. She just stares into the orb.
I can't
that
see
is.
her.
Oh well, you're right. You're blinded.
I've been doing this all
Tidbit,
time.
you see her stare into the orb that is in between the antlers. She kind of looks at it, and then you see energy start to radiate in between in that crystal, and then it moves to the side that Desiree is on, as that half of the antler starts to light up, and then it flows into her body. Desiree, your maximum hit points are increased by 2d8 plus 3.
Nice.
Ooh. Get touched.
Gain another level.
Yes. You gain a plus 10 to your strength score.
I get a plus 13.
And you also get a prophecy dice, which is a d8, which you can add to any failed d20 roll, attacks, saving throws, or ability checks. Once per short rest.
Sick.
Nice.
What's going on?
I don't know.
I definitely feel like I'm gonna throw up.
It is definitely a overwhelming feeling. It feels like you're going up on a roller coaster, and you're but you're just standing there. You feel as you are being pulled through time as someone is viewing your entire lifespan, and you're just you can feel all those things kind of building up and accumulating, which is cute. And then the stag turns its head to Ursine, who originally doesn't let go of the antler, doesn't, because you don't know it's over. Turns its head, and you are face to face with this thing, and it kind of blows hot air into your face, almost like a angry bull, and then it just licks your nose. And you are granted Nature's Ward. The next, you have a barrier of health, a barrier that is 20 points of HP that will be reduced before you take damage. So you can think about it as temporary hit points, but it's 20 points of damage you can take that will not come from you. But it is as a magical barrier, it kind of protects you. So I don't know how you want to write that down, but boom, 20 points
It's
of
called
damage.
Nature's Ward.
Yes.
All right, and this is a temporary thing.
Until those 20 hit points go away.
Got you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
You just kind of feel, as it licks your nose, you kind of feel calmed by that. And then Sharp, you see that the light dissipates, and she is back to being a girl who's riding the horse. And then they take off, but they take off over the sea. So they come down the mountain and they cross the beach, and then they just ride off into the proverbial sunset that is the Quarter Summer Beach. Beautiful, beautiful. Any moments in there as you all are just kind of like,
That was really weird.
This place gets weirder and weirder every freaking day.
I want to
That
go
was the
home.
best moment of my life.
It was cool, but that's why they say don't meet your heroes.
What happened to you, Desiree?
I feel a little bit stronger, I think. I'm still kind of at a loss for words. They were so beautiful. I mean, I feel like you guys are really glossing over that. I mean, that was the most beautiful creature I've ever seen. And I've seen
Yeah.
a lot of the Fae.
Oh, you've never seen
Oh.
the warg.
And you've never seen God.
There's some pretty cool trees out there.
Tidbit, you feel a scrap of divinity left on Desiree. Not necessarily it's prophecy, which is related to time, but you can just tell it's not time, but it's time like, and there's just something about her that is just like blessed. You can like almost like smell it on her. You're like, interesting.
You smell blessed.
I feel blessed.
Well, it makes sense. They blessed you.
I guess I
Yeah.
wasn't meaning literally, I just meant in the overall feeling and sensation, but that is true as well.
Oh, I see. Tidbit's bad with metaphor.
I'm not so great either.
In that moment, you all kind of look around and you're like, "Where's Sylvie?" We jump to Sylvie, whose question was, "What was it exactly?" Just to make sure I answer it accurately.
How was I essentially brought into this existence? I feel like Mother's told me a few things, but probably not the truth.
They say, starting with tricky questions. Do you want to know about your birth or your reincarnation?
Well, at my birth, there was two of me. I have a brother, a twin. Or is that the reincarnation you're talking about? Shit.
Do you have a brother? Do you have a brother? Do you have a brother? They all start to yell at you. Make me a wisdom saving throw.
I feel like they're being kind of mean.
That
They're
was
not nice.
decent. 18.
18.
Hag.
You. I'll give you this. You feel that they. You know they're using hag magic on you. It feels like rather than doing a spell on you that is supposed to hurt you or to harm you or something, they're doing a spell on you that is trying to take something away. You feel that like as you start to resist that spell, and I'll give you a split second to choose to resist it or to not resist it. But you feel that they are pulling something away from you that feels like a blanket given to you as a child that you've had forever, but it doesn't feel like it's a part of you. But that delineation between like, is this blanket a part of me that I've had my whole life? Like, is this really a part of me or is it not? And they are trying to rip away, or at least you can feel them trying to melt that blanket. They're trying to take away something that was given to you that may not be yours, but you feel them attacking you. And the question is, do you want to believe that you have a sibling or not? Do you believe in Auntie? In this moment, hearing all these in this conversation, like, are you still as unshakably pro mommy as you were before you started talking to the Hourglass Coven?
I think Sylvie would just scream no at the top of their lungs, just like have a sharp moment in the woods.
You scream, no! Oh, and they go, now we're telling the truth. Hello.
What more do you want? I don't believe her. I don't trust her. The woman's a bitch.
You realize that you answered their question to you.
Yeah.
They were, and so so the ball is technically in your court. You asked the question. They said, do you have a sibling? And then, do you have a brother? And you said no, and they said correct. And so now the question is yours.
So I don't have a brother.
No.
That's me. That's me in a glass cage.
Hmm.
Or a different version of me.
Oh, she's made such a delicious problem. Do we like our sister? No, we don't. But we do like this. You, that person in the cage is a person. It is not you, but they are part of you.
So kind of how like I was made, they were made, but with me.
Ooh, you ask good questions. They, like you, were born, and then they, like you, were combined with another to be something altogether new. Ta-da! And they kind of like gesture towards you.
Oh, I'm the final copy. Shit.
He's learning. Why do you think, mommy, your mother wanted to make you a boy and pretty? You had to blend in so people wouldn't find you, but they always do, because hags do what hags do. They take and they take and they take. But your job, if you're not like the rest of the hags and you're her project, what is it that you think you're supposed to do? If you're not a real hag and you're a inverse hag, what's that make you?
A giver?
You
Not
give
a
and you
taker?
give and you give. Some may call you a battery. Ooh, she was smart with you.
That's why the coven magic's been working that way. Okay.
You say that out loud?
Yeah, I say that out loud.
Oh, you dipped into coven magic? Are you building a coven against your own mother? That would be disgusting. Who does that?
I feel like you're speculating a lot and also talking from experience.
Oh, just hoping for a brighter future, as they say.
Is that one without my mom in it?
Oh, well, that's just any future in our book. We do hate her. We want to like you. And I think you'll hate her too. Soon.
Yeah, I don't like fully hate her, but I kind of hate her. I'm like in my teenage rebellious phase with her right now, if I had to compare it to anything. I won't bother
Well,
y'all with this, but I'm like, it's a lot.
you could bother your real mother, but she's not around now, is she?
She's around when she needs something, and she'll be needing something soon.
Oh, you missed a key word there. We're not talking about Auntie. That's your reincarnated mommy. We mean your mommy.
My mommy.
You've not thought, it's so weird that I grew up in an orphanage as a fairy. Fairies don't have biological parents. They grow on trees. They grow on bushes with communities. Why'd you grow up alone? Why'd you grow up by yourself with a sibling trapped alone and away from them that they has had to get stronger to protect? That's a really nice story to someone to tell.
So you're telling me I'm a kidnapped child merged with a fairy and a hag?
I think it's cute you think it's that simple.
I'm trying
yes.
to simplify it.
Those are pieces of the puzzle, correct. You should keep collecting them. Who's in the glass case? You should figure that out.
Fine, I will. And if that turns me against my mother, you'll probably be seeing more of me.
Oh, this will turn you against your mother, and we will not be seeing more of you. We're going to go visit with ours. We have to go now.
My
She's
son does
calling.
that.
We will say this to you since we're technically kin. Be careful. This plane of existence is getting all wibbly wobbly. We're being called to the Shadowfell to mother because, well, it's hard to plan during a storm when we can just wait on the coastline and collect the wreckage, if you know what I mean.
I do.
Thanks for the chats. We won't be seeing you. She waves. They all kind of wave at
Little
you.
sisters.
You watch their fingers start to wave and warble, and then your perception starts to get real wonky, and then you kind of look around and you have feathers and wings, and they have polymorphed you into a creature that can fly far faster than you can move. And in the you realizing what has happened to you, they have vanished, and that is their way of sending you away. They're just like shooing you back to where you came from in a way that is faster. Also, they're calling you slow. Because
Yeah, I got that. I read between the lines.
80-foot movement speed. It's even a 160-foot dash. The same speed as faster than their quicklings. And they just shoo you off back to the beach, in which you have no control of this polymorph. You kind of, the only way to break a polymorph is to break concentration or to kill yourself. You're a big ass bird, probably the size of Desiree when she wild shapes. You're like, they might have to hit a lot of trees. And as you're kind of like thinking about that, almost as like some timer is sensed, you like your beak crosses through to the beach line and you are back into a fairy and you stumble. You would fall, but you are a fairy and you just kind of stumble and just kind of roll through the air.
Air tumble.
And you are 30 feet behind the party, and you see that they are just kind of having conversation. There's this like eyes are on Desiree, who has this enigmatic glow to her, and there's a bunch of spit on Ursine's nose. Yeah.
I'm just chilling back there until they notice me.
Yeah, and this is all kind of happening at the same time as where's Sylvie? And come turn, and there's a tiny fairy just kind of floating in the air 30 feet behind you. Whew, looks kind of like shaken
so
up,
it was a fairy in the shadows the whole time.
Well, I've not really been in the shadows, but yeah, I'm back here.
Were you here this whole time? What did you think of that? That was wild, huh? I don't know how.
Very wild experience that we all just had.
Yeah, I know. I didn't think I was going to be licked by a celestial creature today. Should I wipe this off? Do you think it's poison?
No, leave. You should actually probably swallow some of it or a sign. Lick it off.
Okay, I'm going to trust you because you're from here, but I hope it's not. I swallow some.
Yeah, you now get 40 points of protection.
40 more points?
No. 40 points total. He said, I'm gonna ingest it.
I'm gonna start picking up the sticks from the tree massacre I did earlier, so maybe we can start building another raft. Is that how we're gonna do this? We're gonna keep them. I mean, Desiree, do you mind?
Yeah, there's some
wild
knocked down
shaping
trees over this way.
Yeah, we can do a whole raft.
Noting where you're at, some things that will help your brains and figure out what's going on. You know that there's no way you're taking, unless you can rest here to have a full jump, but you know that you'll be crossing into the Court of Autumn at the next time you leave. Like the next thing you do will be crossing into you're at the borders. You just have to choose to go there. There were some things that were said about that place that we will refresh at the top of the next episode, just so it's in our brains, about the Court of Autumn. But you all are welcome to you don't need to make a raft. The raft got you as all the way down to the southern point, and then it got you to the mountains. And you know that the mountain pass, if you are seeing mountains, you are close enough to cross because it is halfway through the mountains to splitting that court. So the distance is just kind of real
Not
short.
needed.
Yeah. You would just need to worry about making yourself comfortable in this moment and prepping for whatever you think will come. Because also you were told that the last sighting of that elemental thing that the Drake Wardens, or what were they called? The Widow Wardens were called, the male version of Desiree's druid camp. They had eyes on this thing, and it was like they described it as being right across the border. So you feel like when you cross that thing, you will be hours from going into battle. So you want once you cross that thing, you need to be ready to go. And also once you cross into the Court of Autumn, it just gets a little bit more messy. But this is a great time to hunker down.
And then we're walking through mountains. My lay of the land, because I feel like I never know where I'm currently at. So like, after we rest, then we're going to be walking through mountains that we see?
Not mountains, but swamp. It'd be swamp. There are mountains next to you, but the mountains are just aesthetic. The Court of Autumn whereas the Court of Summer is a forest mostly, the Court of Autumn is a swamp mostly. It just gets into, there's mushy ground, mushrooms, it's damp, it's not as bright.
And how far are we going that way?
That you don't know. You just know you've been told that it's over the border and it's not too far out. So you assume you'll
along the shore
and find it. Yeah.
Okay. All right. I got you now.
And also, you fought with the primordial prince of Earth in the training module. You assume that this thing is going to be like, the size of the building. Like, it'll be hard to, like, miss. So
what time of day is it? We just rested and then traveled, right?
Yeah, you came, your boat just kind of took you across the east, so it's still pretty early. It's not late.
Yeah, I was gonna say, we don't need to really hunker down and rest. Let's just keep going.
Yeah. Agreed.
I'm cool with that.
Plan, just to push on.
I just got blessed, so I'm ready to go.
Hell yeah.
Onward.
I know God. Yeah, so the only thing that you would need to do, and we'll start with the top of next session, is kind of just like prepping for what to expect going in there. Things that you've learned over time about the court, about the thing you're trying to fight, and then we'll hit the ground running. And we will be in the Court of Autumn next episode. Episode 20, Court of Autumn. Okay. Also, that means we are ending this week with the Chaos 2 boons. We're learning some truth about people's history. It's crazy. We're throwing chests into the sea, then peeing in them and throwing into the sea again. They're bringing them back and then changing our minds. And we got options here in Silvernell. This is the Odyssey of Chaos. So, get into it. All right, my friends. We will see you next week. Until then.
Bye.
Bye.